Hello once again. We're now going to talk about sections 1.2 and 1.3. Section 1.2 is titled as the following. Evaluate and simplify algebraic expressions. So the main thing I want to talk about is the order of operations. Which is the following. You may have seen this before. So PEMDAS. The P stands for parentheses. The E stands for exponents. M is multiplication. The D is division. A is addition. And the S is subtraction. So that represents the order of operations. There's actually a mnemonic you can use. Mnemonic are memorization devices to help you remember something. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. You may have learned that back in middle school. So the P, the E, the M, the D, the A, the S. That helps you kind of remember the order of operations. So parentheses always comes first, then exponents, then multiplication, then division, then addition, then subtraction. So we go from top to bottom. We will try an example that utilizes the order of operations. So here's an example. You're asked to evaluate the following. So one thing I want to talk about before we do this problem, this right here is called an expression. Please, 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 please do not call this an equation. There's no equal sign, just an expression. And we evaluate expressions. We don't solve expressions. Equations we solve. So expression, evaluate, they go together. Now if we plug it in, this is the right way to do it. So it'll be negative 4 times 9 minus negative 18 plus 11. So negative 36 plus 18 plus 11. Final answer, negative 7. So notice how I did the exponent first. Then I multiplied it to negative 4 after I did negative 3 squared. Also did 6 times negative 3. Then I took care of the addition at the end. So that's how we follow order of operations. Another example will be the difference between these two. Hopefully you guys can see why these are different. This will just be negative 25 because you do the exponent first. And you're actually multiplying negative 1 second. Here is just 25. Because it's surrounded by parentheses, it's negative 5 times negative 5, which is 25. So hopefully you guys can see a difference between that. And we'll do a little calculator demonstration the next time we meet in class. Another thing I want to talk about for 1.2 before we move on to 1.3 will be combining like terms. That's a very basic algebraic concept that most of you should be familiar with. And probably the best thing is just do an example. So you're told to simplify the following. 3x plus 2 minus 4x minus 7. So simplify means to make more compact. Remember what compact means. It just means something small, right? Like a compact car. So when you work this out, you first distribute. Remember, that's called distributing. And be careful with the next one. Negative 4x minus 28. Actually, I'm just kidding. It's not minus 28. It's plus 28. I did it on purpose, really, because I'm doing negative 4 to x and then the negative 7. So you guys shoot the negative as well. So be very, very careful. So final answer will be negative x plus 34. Notice how these are like terms. And notice how these are like terms. So that's what's meant to combine like terms. 3x minus 4x negative x. And 6 plus 28 is 34. I think that should be fine for section 1.2. You got the basics there. Now let's talk about 1.3. And I'll stay on the same page here. Alright, let's go with black. Section 1.3, solve linear equations. Okay, this should be pretty basic, and again, review from Algebra 1. Now remember, linear is just like a line. And usually x is used. So let's look at an example. Four x plus 8 equals 20. Now remember, this is called an equation because now you have an equal sign. And we solve equations. So of course, we're asked to solve for x. Remember the difference between that and an expression. Expressions don't have equal signs, equations do have equal signs. We evaluate expressions, we solve equations. So very simple. 4x plus 8 equals 20. So we subtract 8 from both sides. 4x equals 12. We divide by 4. X equals 3. Very, very simple. Let's step up our game and try one that's a little bit more complicated. I'm going to find one with fractions, because fractions can get really, really ugly. So another example. Okay, let's say we have the following. 2/3 x minus 1/12 equals x plus 1/8. Notice how this is going to involve something we talked about earlier, combine like terms. That's the way algebra works. It builds upon itself. Before we combine like terms, before combining like terms, so I'm going to write this out so you really know what I'm doing here. Eliminate fractions. I can't stress how important that is. You really, really, really want to eliminate fractions. LCD is going to be 24, the least common denominator. So what I'm going to do is multiply both sides of the equation by 24. So use green here. It's kind of like Christmas, green and red. 24. So now you can get 16x minus 2 equals 24x plus 3. Now we combine like terms. You get 8x on this side, negative 5 on that side. X will equal negative 5/8. You probably should check just to be sure. And I'll show you how you guys can use a calculator tomorrow to check your answers. Kind of hard to do on this, and it's kind of lengthy to explain, but that's what we do for that one. I think at this point, video's been going on for 15 minutes. I think that's fine for the evening. So we kind of covered some of the key points from 1.2 and 1.3. So we'll summarize this stuff when we meet again, and of course do some problems in class on this material. So that concludes the lesson for tonight, or whenever you do watch this. And do answer the questions right after watching the video, and I'll be looking at your responses to see how it goes. Okay, have a great rest of the day, and I'll see you guys when I see you.